Hello to my Leos. This is Queen Amun-Ra coming to you with your general reading. Leos, we're going to wrap this cycle up. I'm going to try to help you no longer be a slave to your own emotions. We're at the end of a cycle. You're in a very vulnerable, everybody's in a very vulnerable state when we're at the end of a cycle, right? We had a hunter's moon. You're a star in your own right. Everybody's a star. And looking at your cards here before we get into how you can nurture yourself moving forward so that you're not a slave to your own emotions, because it's like the hunter's moon. You could feel like you're hunted by your own emotions, right? But operating in your flesh. And energy is trying to bring out the worst in you. That's what it could feel like, right? Or that's what it could have been feeling like. You trying to break that chain. That's what it could have been feeling like. And you trying to break generational cycles, chains, and curses. So we're going to get into this reading so you can close out this cycle in love within yourself. The moon is in Cancer. This is for this week. This is actually going to be for the 13th through the 20th. So let's get into it. This is Queen Amun-Ra coming to you with your general reading. Leos. Talking to you wherever Leo is in your birth chart. All right, let's start out with the Sun card. So Spirit is guiding you to nurture yourselves, this week. And so we're going to open with your card here, Leos. And so this is divine confirmation. Spirit says that you are being reminded to, be true, the true essence, joy, creativity, and warmth. Nurture yourself by doing what makes your spirit come alive. Laugh, dance, reconnect with your light, Leos. The challenge is this, the 9 of Wands here. This is your challenge, right? For some of you all, it may not be for everybody, but your challenge could be, let me just put it that way. 9 of Wands, you may feel weary from holding it all together. So Spirit says you don't have to be strong all the time, Leos. Like I say on my channel all the time, men and women, take off the Leo cape. You have to get to rest sometimes, right? Nurture yourself by resting your fire. Boundaries and rest are sacred acts of courage. And of course, it's going to be, it's okay to have people around you, Leos, that encourage you to get some rest. You're learning how to, your 9th house is going to be of importance here. This is 9 of Wands here, your fire sign. Your 9th house is going to be of importance to you. You're in a very vulnerable space. At this point, you know who you feel safe around, right? You know who you feel safe around. And start getting those people to start being your prayer warriors, right? Just start telling those people, I just want y'all to pray for me. Those people you feel safe, that you feel like they're praying for you and not on you. I just need y'all to just tell them, I just need you to be my prayer warriors. Like, look, be my spiritual ears and eyes for me so I can get some rest. So if you're picking up on any energies around me, just be my prayer warriors, and trust source, trust a higher power, right? The past influence with the Tower, right? So when you have prayer warriors around you, you're asking people around you to pray for you, and you trusting source, you're not really worried about energies who are going to try to come up against you, who are being disobedient. Their arms are too short to box with source, the creator, higher power. And so old structure, this is past influence. And so old structure are, expectations have fallen away. So Spirit says, nurture yourself through acceptance and release control and honor the wisdom gained from every ending, right? It can make you feel really nervous when you don't really know who around you has your best interest at heart. Anybody who, because I'm seeing somebody has new love in their life, right? And new can always feel odd and strange and spooky. Anybody who is trying to contaminate that, this is the Ace of Cups here. Anybody, that's anybody. Because something is new and you don't really know if new, whether it's a new baby, new romantic interest, a new job, anything that's new. The past is always going to try to resurface. because you're in such a vulnerable state. A new baby, new romantic interest, new job. Y'all know what I'm saying, new anything. Something is going to feel like, oh boy, I'm tender in certain areas. I don't know what to believe, because whenever you see the Ace of Cups, that's Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. This is a new desire, a new belief, and a new feeling, right? Scorpio is the I desire. Pisces is the I believe. Cancer is the I feel. We're not talking about a Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Cancer, okay? We're not talking about people. We're talking about in your birth chart. We're talking about your 12th house, your 8th house, and your 4th house, right? We're talking about your family and ancestry line. We're talking about what can feel like illusions and confusions, your 12th house, your 4th house, and we also talk about your 8th house. We're talking about intimacy and shared possessions, right? All of those areas are tender, right? That's what we're talking about, Leos. And so all of those areas are now feel like they're tender. All of those areas feel vulnerable to you whenever something new is in your life. So you ready to bolt out the door anytime those areas feel tender. So you don't really know, like, okay, any false move, you ready to, okay, I'm out. I'm out, okay. Anything that seemed like, okay, somebody about to take advantage of something that's attacking my 8th house, intimacy and shared possessions, I'm out. I've been hurt in that area before. Anything that seemed like illusion and confusion, I'm out. I've been hurt in that area before. Anything that's attacking my family and ancestry, I'm out. My 4th house, I'm out. I've been attacked in that area before. And Source is saying, but if you got people around you that you know are solid and they are really your prayer warriors, you don't have to go back to being confused by anybody. You don't have to go back to being confused anymore. You're a person who wears your heart on your sleeve, right? And so you're learning how to see something from a higher frequency. Right? You're a person who is a protector and a provider, whether you're a man or a woman, right? You wear your heart on your sleeve. You don't have to be in survival mode, right? Something is new. You don't have to put other people in survival mode. Your high priestess energy is coming out. You've already gone through an initiation with Source, the creator. And so this is where somebody's going to have to really get in your soft girl, soft guy era, like really saying, okay, I really trust Source. I really trust Source. And that's hard for some people, especially I think sometimes men, because we live in a society where men are supposed to be tough, right? Men are supposed to be the providers, you know. But if you want women, or if you're supposed to be head of household, man or woman, whoever you are, and you want somebody to, whatever your belief system is, to submit to you, then you got to see, who are you submitting to? A lot of people can't submit to somebody if they can't submit to the creator. So, I mean, that would be hypocritical. So somebody is really learning how to submit to Source. Somebody's really learning how to be in their high priestess energy, like really learning how to trust Source, right? And really deal with their shadow self. And that's something has come to light there, right? And somebody's learning how to get out in the sunlight more and recognize their star. You're learning how to shine light, shine bright in dark spaces. You're really learning how to shine and be vulnerable to Source. And recognize somebody has been very vulnerable. Vulnerability actually is a strength. You're learning how to see something from a higher frequency. Somebody's really learning how to get their rest. That's going to be mandatory for somebody. So let's get into closing out this cycle here. We're winding down this cycle here. You're learning how to stop being a slave to your emotions, right? Putting other people in survival mode and you being in survival mode, right? So, Sun card. You are being reminded of your true essence, joy, creativity, and warmth. Nurture yourself by doing what makes your spirit come alive. So laugh, dance, and reconnect with your light. Like I said before, your challenge is you may feel weary from holding it all together. The spirit says you don't have to be strong all the time. Nurture yourself by resting your fire. Boundaries and rest are sacred acts of courage. past influence have been a tower, right? And so old structures or expectations have fallen away. Spirit says nurture yourself through acceptance. Release control and honor the wisdom gained from every ending. And your conscious focus is the Queen of Wands here. And so remember, in tarot is genderless, right? And so the Queen of Wands, you focused on reclaiming confidence and direction. So Spirit says, nurture your fire through beauty and ritual. Adorn yourself, light candles, and let inspiration flow back into your life. And so the High Priestess energy is your subconscious energy. This is a deep intuition current is rising. And Spirit says, balance your fire with reflection. Meditation, journaling, or moonlight walks will help you listen to your inner voice and recharge your emotional energy. The near future for you all is the Ace of Cups. New emotional beginnings approach, and Spirit says nurture yourself by allowing love to flow in from others and from your higher self, and your heart is ready to open again. Somebody's heart is ready to open again, but you're going to have to learn how to protect it and trust source. That means people from your past trying to resurface and trying to contaminate what's new. See how this person has their hand protecting what's new? Somebody's going to have to learn how to really protect what's new. Really learn how to protect what's new. Maybe like protect your water. Learning how to protect your water. Protect your emotions. What's sacred. Your water is sacred, right? And so here we have the Strength card. This is you, right? This is you. See this lion, half person, right? You're whole and complete. Your energy embodies resilience and grace. And Spirit says true strength is gentle. Nurture yourself by showing compassion to your own heart, Leos. Speak softly to yourself and let vulnerability be power. This is where you're seeing something from a higher frequency. This is where you're in harmony with yourselves, right? That rainbow, you're in harmony with yourself. And so life around you is seeking harmony. Spirit says nurture balance. Say no to chaos, yes to peace. Slow down enough to feel divine timing at work. All right? So your hopes and fears would be the four of swords here. You hope to rest, but fear losing momentum. Spirit says nurture yourself with sacred pauses. Restoration now fuels your brilliance later. And so rest is creation in disguise, right? So a lot of people don't get enough rest. They're afraid, okay, you know, like a little kid. You know how kids, you tell them to take a nap, they swear they're going to miss something. They swear they're going to miss a cartoon. They're going to miss, like, rest is like, y'all know, tell a little baby to take a nap. They think they're going to miss, to close their eyes, they're going to miss something. They're going to miss a cartoon. They fighting sleep. Like, you tell an older person, okay, it's nap time, they get ready to dive into that bed like, whew, yes, nap time, okay, right? So outcome is the star. And so healing, guidance, this is the outcome. So healing, guidance, faith, return. And so Spirit confirms, as you nurture yourself, your light becomes magnetic again. You are the beacon, calm, luminous, and reborn in divine trust. And so your closing message for you all, Leos, is guidance. You know, Spirit is guiding you to nurture the inner flame, not the outer fire. So let your soul rest in its own warmth. And so this week is healing. Your healing is coming through joy, stillness, and softness. So when you care for your light, it burns brighter, not for the world's applause, but for your own peace. You are both the flame and the sun that rises from it, right? So let's go ahead and close this out. As we close out cycles just in general, that's your time to say, because we had like I said, we had a hunter's moon / ice cold moon, right? And so when we talk about hunters, it's like a slave hunter, right? You say you're not going to be a slave to your emotions anymore. As the moon was moving through each one of these zodiac signs, you're feeling all of this energy. The moon is in Cancer. Cancer is the mother and money sign of the zodiac, and money is a form of energy. You said, I'm not going to spend any more time not knowing how to nurture myself. I'm not going to spend any more time being in survival mode. where when I got something new in my life, a new baby, a new love, a new job, a new this, where I am in survival mode, where I'm just waiting to pounce on something. I'm like an apex predator lion. I'm ready to pounce. Somebody say something, one little wrong thing, I'm ready to pounce. Okay, I'm just waiting in the jungle. I'm just ready to pounce instead of in prayer mode. Instead of I got people around me that's just in prayer mode. I got a new love in my life. Oh, okay, they remind me of something from the past. Then maybe I need to heal. Maybe I need to completely close out something from the past so I can feel that new feeling again. Maybe I need to completely close out a cycle from the past so I can feel that new feeling again. Maybe I need to completely close out that old job. Maybe I need to stop talking to some of them people from my old job so that I don't need to find out who took the old job, my old place in the old job, so I don't have to sit here and keep, like I'm sitting there, gosh, okay, they hired somebody in my old job, so now I got to keep hearing the drama from the old job. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, your peace is paramount. So somebody's learning how to close out cycles and praying for people. Learning how to pray for people, right? So they are a Python. So you're closing out cycles in love, right? First red flag, pray and meditate. You versus you. It's not, you don't have any, nobody has any competition. So anyway, something about your 11th house, your friends, you're creating something new. So pour into yourselves more. So you are protected in love. You're protected in love. You have a new attitude. You have a whole new attitude. So, something about your ex. Yeah, make a list of pros and cons. The spy is now turned on. Be patient, the answers are coming. Yeah, I don't know what about somebody's ex. I have no idea about somebody's ex. I really have no idea. I'm not even going to ask the cards about somebody's ex because I really want somebody to really focus on you closing out cycles and really getting your prayer circle together. People who are really, this is where you're going to have to really learn how to depend on source. It's just say, okay, I'm praying. I've got my prayer warriors together, people who are praying for me, and just saying, okay, these people really have my best interest at heart. They're praying for me and I'm trusting source, meaning that I'm getting my rest. I ain't stressing out about nothing. I got a new job. I got a new something going on. Whoever you are, new whatever. Whatever you got new going, new apartment, new condo, new house, new car, new baby, new love interest, new wife, new husband, new church, new mosque, new temple, whatever you got new going on. New YouTube channel, new Instagram page. New goods, products, and services, whatever new you got going on. New son, new daughter-in-law, new somebody. New wife, husband, somebody. You got something new going on, right? So I'm just depending on the people around me that I know who have my best interest at heart. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to close out the cycles airtight. I got something, I got new in my life, and that's all I'm focused on. Focus on because Ace of Cups is your 8th house. That is, excuse me. Eighth house is, because you're breaking generational cycles, chains, and curses, just so we're crystal clear. 8th house is intimacy and shared possessions, right? You're breaking cycles, chains, and curses, right? You're putting into things, right? Death and transformation, right? That means that past romantic relationships, everything that's connected to that. I don't have to really kind of go down there. If you get a new love in your life, okay, exes, that's over with, Certain things shouldn't spill over. Certain things shouldn't spill over. Certain conversations shouldn't spill over to that in the past. Things that would be unhealthy and wounded that would jeopardize a new romantic relationship. And people you can kind of gauge that. It's case by case. Yeah, y'all know. Okay, I had to get it. Okay, I had another pop up, so I had to make some more time. Eighth house will all be deep, dark, mysterious things. That would be like death, loss, compromise, power of all dimensions. Eighth house, challenging our sense of personal control, deeply private things. Y'all know, eighth house is like super sensitive things, like things that, you know, they would be so sensitive. You would have to really kind of gauge those things for eighth house, right? Like, for instance, Scorpio rules eighth house, and we're not talking about a Scorpio, but you know, like certain things that would just kind of sort of teeter on that. Let's say you talk about certain things where you almost like, dang, I probably shouldn't have told this new person certain things, or I probably shouldn't have told that ex certain things about my new person. You know, kind of sort of the things, not necessarily like, you wouldn't look at it as almost Leos, like, let's say you have a new person in your life and you look at it as like, I don't see what the big deal is. You know, if somebody, if you don't look at it as like, I don't see what the big deal is that I told my new person or told my ex about something with the new person, because if they had done it to me, I wouldn't have been so mad, right? It's more or less like, let me get permission from the parties first before I share information, if that makes any sense, because it's something so sacred, right? Let me get permission. Let me not guess, because a tower is so sensitive, puts people in such a vulnerable state, right? Anything, it puts everybody in such a vulnerable, because it goes like the homophone, right? Pray and pray. It's a fine line between people praying for people and praying on people. Some people can come under the guise, y'all get my point. Some people can come under the guise of praying for people versus praying on people, right? Like a person can say, well, tell me everything I need to pray for. And a person ends up, you know, opening up their whole heart and talk about, well, my dog died, the goldfish jumped out the bowl, and you know, my iguana ran across the kitchen floor, and somebody tripped over the iguana and bust their head on the refrigerator. I mean, just all y'all know what I'm saying, like, you know, sharing a little bit too much, and then next thing you know, somebody telling somebody else, and then it's not confidential, and then somehow it got all across the, y'all get the point. It's sharing a whole bunch of information, and then next thing you know, somebody's praying on that and somebody didn't mean to. Y'all get the whole point, right? And then whole tower, it just has a chain effect, right? Domino effect, and then next thing you know, all heck is breaking loose, right? That's eighth house, right? And then next thing you know, eighth house is also the house of death, right? So next thing you know, relationship is over because somebody didn't say something, overstepped the boundary, somebody didn't think something was that deep, somebody else thought it was that deep. Next thing you know, relationship is over, right? Nobody thought something was that deep, right? And then we got fourth house, home and family, right? Ancestry line, right? Fourth house is ancestry line, home line, ancestry and history, foundations and private world, also family, blood family, like blood family, overstepping lines. Y'all see how serious it can get. We talking about the Ace of Cups, we talking about fourth house, eighth house, and also 12th house. 12th house could be illusions and confusion. Somebody could have a dream about something and not really know what a dream is. So a dream could be like somebody had a dream about fish, okay? I had a dream about fish. Somebody must be pregnant. Okay. Pregnancy could mean that somebody's actually pregnant, or somebody could be pregnant with purpose, or somebody could have a dream about having sex or intercourse with somebody and just, you know, oh my, you know, and can't get that person off their mind. Or somebody could have been cloaking in somebody else's energy and just kind of, okay, I wonder what that person really is like in real life. And then realize, okay, and that could put somebody in a real sensitive energy, and that can bring that brand new relationship into, you know, a level of sensitivity. I mean, it can just get real tricky, right? It get real tricky, right? So a relationship could be sensitive, then bring it back into reality, right? 12th house is about service and sacrifice. And a person in a relationship could be like, we're in a brand new relationship, I sacrificed so much, now the relationship is on the rocks. Somebody could have 1 foot in the relationship, 1 foot on a banana peel. I mean, just craziness, right? And then also, Like I said, you are protected and loved. And so whenever I see the Ace of Cups here, this is where you want to close out this is why you want to close out the cycle and say, okay, when I'm closing out cycles in love and I have new, whenever you see Ace of Cups here, you got something new in your relationship. This is where you got to really, really increase your prayer life. If you're a person who's a believer, whatever you believe in, spiritually, religious, increase your prayer life, because somebody's in a very vulnerable space. In other words, these next 7 days, take time out to focus 100% on Leo. Just you. Get your prayer warriors, all hands on deck. Make it about you. Just make it about you, right? Focus on you. And of course, you got other people that's going to focus on them as well. I would say this to every zodiac sign. So if you got other people who watch my channel, I'm going to tell them the same thing. Focus on them. So everybody's praying for everybody this week. Like really focus on nurturing yourselves this week and closing out a cycle. So my goal for my collective community is that everybody would nurture themselves so that nobody is in hunters, in a slave to their own emotions, right? Come out of this ice cold slave to emotions, slave to your own emotions, where every little thing that is said, everybody's ready to pounce on everybody else. You about to pounce on your manager at work. You about to pounce on this person. You about to just lose it and go off on somebody. You ready to just, no matter what's said, right? You about to just snap. So yeah, somebody wants the best for you and you're learning how to enforce boundaries. But yeah, somebody's ex, I don't know what somebody's ex is. You're learning how to enforce boundaries with somebody's ex, whoever your ex is. You're learning how to enforce boundaries because you're trying to protect something that's very, very sacred, first and foremost with yourself, but you're also leaning on and trusting your circle of people who you know for certain because they have proven themselves to have your best interest at heart. These people have proven themselves to have your best interest at heart, whoever you are. They prayed for you and you know that they have your best interest at heart. So let's close it out. So hopefully that broke the Ace of Cups down for everybody. And I do see you being successful. Whatever is new in your life, I'll see it being successful. But other people have to play their part too. Of course, if it's a new baby in your life, they innocent, so they're gonna play their part in, getting mad because they got to take a nap. That's their part they're gonna play. But if it's another human being, it's free will. They're gonna play their part, however, but it's free will. It's free will. So you have no control over another human being. All you have control over is playing your part. That's it. That's it. So 525, money. Wealth flows to those who believe they already have it. Financial abundance wants to flow to you, but you must prepare your mind, your mindset for it. The key is feeling grateful for what you want as if you already have it. Think of one thing that you want right now. Sit for a few moments in quiet appreciation for its presence in your life as if you already have manifested it. 525. Yeah. So somebody already has a feeling. You've been between energies who are already have a feeling that they're wealthy already, right? So you have to feel it. You already have to feel it. So somebody is already between energies that you're surrounded by people who the energy of money is already attracted to them, whoever you are. So this is where you say, okay, I have to have that feeling too. I have to learn how to attract that as well. So you're already in good company, whoever you are. You have to come out of that overly, and I'm talking to men and women, Leos, you have to come out of that overly masculine energy. Somebody has to really learn how to believe that wealth is trying to flow to you. So Source has you positioned right where Source wants you. Source has you, and Source really will sit you down. I mean, Source will put you in a situation where you have no choice but to rest. Believe it or not, Source will put you in a situation where you have no choice but to rest, whatever that looks like. So when you pray for something, Source will put you in a situation that looks like you're being punished, but will sit you down to almost put you around energies so things will start to flow to you to teach you how, okay, You'll think you're being lazy, like you're not doing enough. But so it's like, I'm trying to teach you how to attract what you want, to help you be on a frequency to attract what you want. You don't need to be around other energies that are, who have on their cape just like you do, who don't know how to take their cape off just like you don't know how to take your cape off, Leos. You need to be around people who at first glance seem like they're lazy. That's at first glance. They seem like they're lazy. They just know how to attract. And you're learning how to attract. Source is putting you in situations where you're learning how to attract wealth. Attract wealth, right? And learning how to be a gatekeeper of energies, right? So something may seem like an odd transition for somebody. Something may seem like an odd transition. I'm trying to see how I can word this for you all, because I feel like to some degree something feels like a switch off for you all. I feel like at one point for you all Leos, it almost felt like you all toned it down a little bit when you all were younger, because you almost heard from people. Some of you all may have heard that you were being arrogant, or you needed to tone it down a little bit. But now you're not going to tone it down. You're just learning how to gatekeep your energy. You're learning how to shine, but you're also learning how to know when to get your rest. Like really learning who to know in your circle has prayed for you, so that you can know when to turn the light off and say, okay, like the moon, I know when to rest and when to get back up and shine at my brightest, just like the sun, if that makes sense to somebody. Because the people that source is surrounding you with don't mind you shining at your brightest, if that makes sense, right? So you're transitioning. You're transitioning. So Source has the right people around you. So don't mess up what Source has, the people around you, new love, new job, new money, new whoever. Don't mess those things up. You just have to somebody just has to learn how to enforce boundaries of energies trying to resurface back into your life. And you are protected and you are loved. You are protected and you are loved. Okay? That's what I have for you. All right? Bye.